The first FNCS Division 1 qualifiers have just concluded, and we got to see how the big name brand new trios did, like MrSavage's trio, Mongraal's brand new trio, how they actually played throughout the opens, what looked good about their trios, what looked bad. We also got to see how Peterbot's brand new trio looked in so many other big name teams. If you guys enjoy Fortnite competitive content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. It should hopefully be fully moved within the next couple of days, so I can't guarantee a stream for finals this Saturday, but make sure you guys follow my Twitch, linked in the description down below, just in case I'm able to. Without further ado though, let's start off with the winners of NA of Muzz, Rise, and Curly. Now these guys honestly did kind of dominate the opens, but obviously all the time during these opens, you have to put a little bit of an asterisk next to it, simply because teams like Qual'd, Peterbot, they didn't even finish out all of their games because they went to go play West. I still want to give huge credit to this trio for finishing with 828 points and winning 4 out of their 17 total games. I have been kind of apologizing to this trio every single week after they have been proving me wrong. If you guys don't know what I said, basically I said that the trio went from Yapko to Qual'd to Curly, and Curly was like by far the worst one out of those 3, but it looks like Curly is the best fit out of any other player that these guys have currently had. Now of course we do still have to see how they're actually going to play in a set lobby finals, but so far throughout the opens they look super good. They finished with 151 elims as well, which was the second most elims in the entire tournament. In second place though, the trio that was in first place after day 1, and I really do believe could have pretty easily finished with first place after day 2, of Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo. These guys got 786 total points and won 2 out of their 15 games, and the trio was also tied with the most total elims in the entire tournament, with Peterbot's trio getting 194 elims. They continue to just look super good in opens. I am very excited to see these guys in a Cash Cup finals, as out of all of last season we only got to see them in one set lobby Cash Cup finals, and that is the Cash Cup that they got 5th place in. I 100%, and even when I'm going to be doing my predictions, think that they are going to do better than that 5th place that they got last season. Third place is Joji, Donnie, and Nervous. 4th is Bacon. 5th is Northern. 6th is Dolger. 7th is the trio of Qual'd, Peterbot, and Poyo. Now these guys had a little bit of a slow day 1, but I said they would 100% be able to bring it back in day 2, which is exactly what they did, finishing with 671 total points. They were only able to win 1 out of their 18 games. We also did get to see Peterbot stream on day 2, which was honestly a really big surprise. They only had like 2 or 3 good games on all of day 2, but once again, this trio is just W king every single game. They could care less about placement. I think we do still have to give them the title of the best trio on all of NA before the actual finals start, but obviously once finals are over, things are subject to change. 8th place was Visuals, 9th was Soneto, and then rounding out the top 10 was Vidil, Cooper, and Sphinx. Now this is an absolutely stacked finals. We basically had every single big name be able to make it. Like 11th place, the brand new trio of Kanata, Booga, and Threats was 646 points. 12th place of Agers, Acorn, and Ritual, finishing with 640. These guys also look super good. Both of these trios did not play out all of their games because they went on to play West. 14th place was a trio that had a little bit of concerns going into this tournament, but they still look super good, of Rapid, Yapko, and Bolts. Reed's brand new trio of him playing on keyboard and IGLing with Shadow and Virgo finished in 17th. Bucky, Okus, and Craze finished in 20th. Oliver OG in 21st. The EU trio of Cammy, Seti, and Hari finished in 27th. So these guys are still just able to qualify for, it seems like, every single NA finals. Aviv's brand new trio of Skittles and Chimp finished in 28th. And then rounding out the top 33 was D-Roller. We only had a couple of trios that were not able to make it into the finals, like Noah W plays in 36th. Unfortunately, Cypher PK's brand new team that he is coaching of Curve, Mason, and Tyler finished in 41st place. I really wish we were able to see these guys in the finals, not only just because they're such a fun team to watch, but for all of their personal brands as well. They are going to most likely be in a Cypher PK video, and if they're able to make it into finals, that is just going to add so much to the content for that trio. And then we also did have like Bila, Cam, and TK finish in 44th. Before we move on to EU, let's actually go over my current top 5 predictions for NA. Starting off with in 5th place, I'm going to go with the brand new trio of Muzz, Rise, and Curly. Now, I already fully apologized to this trio multiple times now. I think they definitely do have the potential to be a top 5 team on NA. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to win 1 out of these 6 games in set lobby finals also. This is, of course, a high ground team. Rise is a high ground IGL, and I am very excited to see how they actually do in set lobby finals. 4th place, I'm going to go with the trio of Cooper, Vidil, and Sphinx. I feel like there has been some disrespect on this trio recently. We have to remember these guys literally did just place 4th place in grand finals, and then Vidil went back over to EU, and they have just been kind of off to a slow start so far this season. I wouldn't be too surprised if they maybe finished in like 7th place, but I think 4th is a very fair placement for this trio. Getting on to the top 3 now, I think these are just the 3 best teams on NA. Starting off with in 3rd place, I'm gonna go with the trio of Acorn, Ritual, and Agers. Now, this is another team that I feel like I've seen so much disrespect for, and I just don't get it. I mean, you have Acorn, who is arguably the best IGL on NA, Agers, who is arguably a top 2 fragger on NA, and then Ritual, who literally has to play just a support role now for this trio to work. I think these guys are going to prove a lot of people wrong over these next couple of weeks and still look super good. And that means that my top 2 are the 2 biggest names in arguably all of Fortnite. Starting off with in 2nd place, I have the trio that I do currently think is the 2nd best team on NA of Clicks, Iamzo, and Higgs. Now, if we're just going off of pure placements from this season and things like the Eval Cup and in the Opens, Clicks' trio has technically been the best, but I do still think that they are just 2nd place. I think that this trio has 100% the capabilities to win a Cash Cup this season, but the trio in 1st place, I feel like we just have to give them the respect. It's arguably the 3 best fighters on the region, and that of course is the trio of Peterbot, Pollo, and Qual'd. I think this is going to be the real first test on whether or not Peterbot is a good trios IGL. I know we have seen them dominate in things like Eval Cups, but I try to say all the time that I just don't really think Eval Cups matter as much as things like Trio Cash Cup Finals, so this is going to be a real test to see how good this trio actually is. Now, I don't know how I completely forgot about this until literally right now, but this is going to be the first finals where we get the battle at Mass Meadows between Vidil, Cooper, and Sphinx and Agers, Acorn, and Ritual. So I'm not gonna lie, I think definitely one of the trios still has the potential to place inside the top 5, but you might have to take my top 5 predictions with a little bit of a grain of salt now. And it also looks like Muzz, Rise, and Curly are going to be contested as well. I still think these guys can pull off a 5th place though, but this is going to be some very fun off-spawn fights to watch. Let's actually move on to how EU went now. Now in EU, it was a day of disappointments for a lot of our big name trios, but we will get into all of that in a little bit. Let's start off with the actual winner of Opens though, the team in 1st place, the trio that was so close to securing their spot at the FNCS Global Championships of Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. Now these guys finished with 869 points. They were able to win 6 out of their 19 games as well, so this team had by far the most amount of wins out of any other trio on EU. They also finished with 153 total elims. I think this trio is 100% contending for an FNCS championship this season. Literally last season, I had them as my 3rd best team on EU, and I might still have them in that spot. 2nd place though, the experiment trio of Chap, Shark, and Kiduo. They finished with the most amount of elims in this entire tournament with 202. So they were just absolutely fragging out today. They only won 1 out of their 17 total games today, but I don't think that's anything to be like really concerned about, to be honest. If you look at their match history for just their final 4 games, it was a 12 elimination 9th, 18 elimination 8th, 22 elimination 3rd, and a 23 elimination 2nd. I said this in yesterday's video, and I saw some people saying I was hating on Kiduo. I did not mean for it to sound like that at all. I'm just saying if I was Kiduo, I would literally love my life on this trio. I get to play with 2 of the most insane fighters on all of EU, and it's not even like Kiduo's bad either. Like, he is still a very respectable fighter as well. This trio is going to be so scary to fight in finals. I wouldn't be surprised if their whole Surge plan is literally just key teams for it, but that could also be their demise. So I am just very excited to see how these guys actually go in their first set lobby finals together. 3rd place is a team that is coming off of 5th place in their first ever grand finals of Pixstarm and Demas. They finished with 762 points and won 4 out of their 17 games as well. Huge shout out to this trio. 4th place is the LAN qualifying team of Ping, Walks, and Malibuca. They are one of only 2 current LAN teams on all of EU, and they are just continuing to absolutely dominate throughout these tournaments. We already know they should be a basic lock for top 5 in finals. 5th place was Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache, the team I've been calling the 2nd best and potentially even the best trio on EU. When I go over the actual finals drop map, these guys are going to be uncontested, so we will finally get to see this trio at an uncontested Seaport City, and I really do think the sky is the limit for these guys. 6th place is Frantic. 7th was Seti, Hari, and Cammy. 8th was Rezon, Yanis, and Noah Riley. So these guys had all that drama with them just to get back together and still place top 10 in the Opens. Huge shout out to this trio. 9th was Trulex, Tayson, and Chicho, and then rounding out the top 10 was the brand new trio of Chris, Thomas HD, T, and arguably the biggest villain in the world to MrSavage and Mongraal fans of Panzer. Now we all know Panzer got a bunch of negative feedback for dropping MrSavage to play with this trio right here, but so far out of every single player on the trio that literally just finished in 8th place in last EU Grand Finals, Panzer was the only one that was able to make it into the finals. I know that we all can kind of agree that he did make this decision for himself, but I mean, it is working out at the end of the day, and there really isn't much you can fault him for if it's working for him. We do have a lot of other big names that are going to be in this finals though. This finals is about to be so stacked. We have like the brand new trio of Amisha, Tini, and Skavi in 11th, a team that was literally in 55th place after day one, bringing it all the way back into 12th place of Vico, Vino, and Flixie. They had an absolutely insane day two. If you look at their match history, their best games were like an 18 elimination win, 16 elimination 7th, and a 24 elimination win. These guys really were just absolutely fragging out. 14th place of Pink, Nebs, and Sato. I Drop Sky and Scroll finished in 23rd, and then Podesai, X-Sweeze, and Momsy rounded out the top 33. Let's talk about the two brand new trios I know all of you guys care about, starting off with of MrSavage, Mappy, and Z Andy. Like I said earlier, they were unfortunately not able to qualify. They finished in 73rd place today. If you just look at their match history from today, they started off so strong, getting a 14 elimination second, a 10 kill win, and then after that, they weren't even able to get a single game inside of the top 15. Now, as of right now, it does look like MrSavage enjoys playing with Mappy and Z Andy. I know a lot of his community and his fans want him to try to find a better trio, but I mean, what I would actually say to that is I don't even really know who else he could really play with. I think we're gonna have to wait until the end of the first divisional cup before any trios are even thinking about snakening. And I don't want to necessarily say that he's cooked, because he could always improve with this trio, always get better over time, but I don't think this is an FNCS winning team. I'm not even really sure if this is better than the trio he was literally just on with Mongraal and Panzer. Now, the other person, of course, is Mongraal, and he was unfortunately not able to qualify. They did have a lot better of a day two than they did day one though, getting really good games like a 9 elimination win, 9 elimination 9th, and a 7 elimination 3rd in their very final game. I said this in yesterday's video, this is definitely, if there's going to be any trio we have to give some slack to, it is 100% these guys. Literally their first tournament that they have ever played together was this tournament right here, and Mongraal is literally coming off of a like 3-week vacation where he didn't touch the game at all. But if I have to say one thing about this trio, it looks like Mongraal is almost more comfortable playing with these guys than he was when he was playing with Savage and Panzer. He just seems to be trying to make so many more plays than he was when he was playing with them. He seemed almost kind of nervous when he was playing with Savage and Panzer, and like he didn't want to mess up or anything. But now that he is on a trio that, I mean, maybe you could say is around like his skill wise, I guess, he really does just seem so much more confident in himself, and he really is looking like he could be the main fragger on this trio. Now, just after watching them, what do I actually think this team's potential is? I think this is 100% a trio that could make it into set lobby finals consistently week after week. One thing I would really like for these guys to look into though is potentially getting a coach. I feel like sometimes they are just a little bit undecisive on what they actually want to do. Since we know Mongraal's not going to be like fully grinding the game or anything, if there was just a coach that could beforehand like tell Mongraal everything that like they need to work on and improve on, so that Mongraal doesn't have to be like putting in so many hours into the game that he doesn't want to and like burning himself out again, I think that would be very helpful for this trio, and I think that is one of the things that could probably take them to the next level. Or no, for my top 5 predictions, starting off with in 5th place, I might already be starting off with a little bit of a controversial one, but I'm gonna go with the trio of Malibuka, Ping, and Wox. Now, yes, I know these guys literally just got 2nd place in grand finals. I just think there is a couple of trios that are more built for like cash cups besides this trio. I know that line could 100% come back to bite me and watch them literally just win finals on Saturday, but as of right now, I'm gonna put them in my 5th place spot. 4th place, I'm gonna go with the trio of Pix, Darm, and Demas. I think they are just 100% built for cash cups. We saw this team literally win a cash cup last season, and also going back to what I said earlier, the first cash cup of the season is always the most difficult one to predict. So going into my top 3 now, I am just going to put what I think is the current 3 best trios on the region. Starting off with in 3rd place, I'm gonna go with the trio of Vanya, Pixie, and Marius. These guys were so dominant in cash cups last season, and the only 2 that they were able to play, I'm pretty sure they had an average placement of like 2.5 or something literally ridiculous like that. These guys are insane in cash cups. Marius and Pixie are some of the best fighters in the entire region, and Vanya has proved time and time again that he is a top IGL. And then the top 2 though, I think it kind of has to be set in stone right now. And in 2nd place for me, I'm gonna go with the current uncontested trio of Queasy, Swizzy, and Murstache. Is there a world where these guys struggle a little bit since they have just been contested for so long in set lobby finals? Maybe, potentially, yes, but I really do think they're gonna get the job done. It might not be the first cash cup where they look super dominant, but over time throughout the season, I think these guys will 100% be in the running for the potential winners to every cash cup. And so that is of course going to mean that my first place team is the current reigning defending EU champions of Vico, Vino, and Flixie. I think we still just have to give them the respect of being the current best trio on EU, and they do just have the best POI completely uncontested as well. I mean, it really is kind of hard to argue with any of that right there. There is just so many good teams on EU. I could see a world where Thomas HC, Chris, and Panzer finish top 5. I could see Tayson finishing top 5. There is just so many good trios, and this first Cash Cup Finals is going to be so fun to watch. If we pull up the actual map, there is currently so many trios contested at Shining Shafts. I doubt that all 4 of these teams are going to land here, but it's currently iDrop, Sky, and Scroll, Sharks trio, Twice trio, and Clemet's trio all fighting at this drop spot. I mean, that is going to be an absolutely insane fight to watch if there really is going to be 4 teams landing there. And then the other big fights we have is like Teeny versus Kylie's trio. And then, I mean, we do have Momsy, Podesai, and X-Squeeze now landing on Akira instead of Queasy, so I know they're happy about that. If you guys want to support me even more, the best way to do so is by using code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop. YouTube says to enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so go check them out if you guys haven't already. Follow me on my Twitter at ChiliKDOG to keep up to date with everything to do with Fortnite competitive. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Oh yeah, remember to follow my Twitch also, man. Follow the Twitch, link in the description down below. We are going to hopefully be streaming starting next week. I'm almost fully moved in, just gotta move a couple more things. I'm getting the internet set up right now and everything. But I love and appreciate all you guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.